This is CptWoozle. It is 8:11 p.m. on January 26, 2024. I am back again on this wonderful Friday. I hope everyone had a good week. It is Friday, the beginning of the weekend. I imagine people are off doing things, maybe going to parties, maybe sitting at home. Who knows? I'm back again for more programming in the after hours for whatever project that I'm working on. At this particular point, the project, as some of you might know already, is building or making a reverse bullet hell. So I had a chance over the past couple of days to play the classic reverse bullet hell called, I guess it's not a classic, I don't know how long or how old it is, called Vampire Survivors. And it gave me some really good ideas. So right off the bat, let's go ahead and document here. Scroll up. Yeah. So it gave me a couple ideas playing it. One, I want to, the maps were huge. As far as I could tell, they were pretty much endless. I don't think they were actually endless, but maybe create something called endless maps. So that's something that I noticed right off the bat. The next is that they didn't have levels per se. What they instead had were you leveled, and they had a timer, and I like that. I like the timer idea. But I think I want to create kind of limits. So, so first, let's also note a couple of things before we get to the timer. One, they had spawns appear on screen. So appear on screen. So what I've been doing is I've been spawning the creatures off map so you can't see them, and they actually have the spawns appear on screen, so that makes my job a bit easier. So I'll probably keep the spawns appearing on screen. Next, they kept spawning, and then after a time spawned different and more difficult creatures or monsters, as we call them. So I like that idea as well. I'm not going to mimic it exactly, but after a time I am going to spawn some different monsters. But they then, after more time, and I'll just put a note here, after more time, spawned some of the old creatures. Or old monsters. So I like that aspect. Next, each level, and they didn't have that many levels but I've only unlocked a few. So each level, different monsters. So that's cool. I think for mine, I'm going to do timer-based maps. So, after surviving for X minutes, you win the map. Now I think I've already notated that I've done levels in terms of the game leveling, but not the player leveling. So one of the things that I want to introduce is player leveling. Now I didn't like. Again, it's not that I didn't like. I think for my particular preferences, since it's my game, I'm going to actually have it so that the monsters you kill give you levels. So monsters give points, and killing a monster gives you so many points. Next, I think I need to incorporate some type of choices when the player levels. Right now, I kind of put in just two there's a bomb and a gun, and ultimately I should probably change that up. So these are some of the things that I want to incorporate, and I will probably start working on those bit by bit. Now, some of the things that I did do is I increased the speed of the player, and I increased the ball so it goes around. But I only have a very limited map right now, so I got to figure out how I can do kind of an endless map. But I guess, yeah, I'm not sure how to do an endless map in P5 Play. So let's see what we can find on the old. Let's look. P5 Play endless. What's endless mode? Let's take a look at what that's about. Oh, that's endless. Yeah, let's look what an endless canvas looks like. Website, infinite page. Your own infinite game. Let's take a look. Oh, I see. So, stop it. So, you create the background, you create the scale. The canvas stays the same. Velocity. We end the game. Destroy it. So there are a couple things that I can kind of pull from this. But I don't see. There's the draw sprites. I don't really see how they're doing the endless background here. I see the coin creation, I see the obstacle, there's the drawing of the sprites. Infinite runner in P5. So I guess we just keep drawing the background and faking it. Oh, is it that what you do is you fake, and maybe that's what I'm misunderstanding. I'm used to it, you're faking it, but what should probably move is I imagine that your character really just kind of moves within a certain space, and what changes is the background. So let's see if I can find let's see if we can regenerate background. So we can set an image as a background, and that's fine. Random word poster. Let's do this. Let's ask instead for a scrolling background. There it is. And let's have it so that what happens is it just keeps going. And I guess you don't actually see the end of it. So what we're seeing here is you're moving background image. Let's take a look. So that's what they're doing. So it looks like what you're doing is you're moving, you're constantly creating. There's one image that's at x1 of 0, and then, oh, I see. So I'm looking at this, and what it seems like is you are constantly regenerating the same map, as it seems, to explain. Um, let's see if we can pull up a paint as a bad example. So it looks like what they're doing is, let's pick this and go for a terrible size brush. So it looks like they're creating one square here and another square here, another square here, and so that as the character points in this direction, it moves the background, and then when, if I understand this correctly, when the position of one, when it's less than, or you subtract, yeah, you slowly go to the right, or however much the character moves, and then you tack on the new item at the very end, so it looks like you're scrolling, but you're really just hitting the end, hitting a new map, and then they're pasting a new map here on the end, and or pasting a new map here on the bottom. So yeah, let's kind of play around with that and see if I can do something similar. Let's see if I can find some code. Um, um, Background written based on the mouse keys. So I've been thinking about this wrong. I've been thinking about, not completely wrong, but I've been thinking about this wrong. I've been thinking about that the character is moving, that you're moving the character, but in actuality, I guess you're moving the background. And you draw your background in a giant grid, or your map in a giant grid, and that's what you would do. So let's pick a terrible, let's go and find some free backgrounds. Free grass images. And I guess we wouldn't want free grass. Let's look for free, what do we want? Free game land PNG. And the logic, if I'm not sure, is that what we do is we create a grid of backgrounds. Let me take a look. So I'm going to pull up the game real quick so I can kind of observe the logic here a little bit. So let's see what that looks like. All right, so if we take a look at this, start. All right, let's take a look at this. Let's start with this character. So let's take a look. So it moves, but the character, so the character moves, but if we take a look, um, we keep the character moves. The character moves. But you never, um, the character's always in the center. Like, it looks like they're moving, but you never ever move outside of the center, no matter how far or in the corner you may go. It's the map that's moving. It just looks like the background is moving, or the character is moving, but you can see clearly that that's not the case. So let's quit. Done. Quit. Quit. There we go. So to mimic that in this particular case, let's go ahead and find some backgrounds that we can use. Let's take a look. Almost what I'm looking for. I don't know what that is. That's nothing to do with what we're interested in terms of backgrounds. Yeah, something like this. No, I'm not going to sign in with Google. Yeah, so we want pictures of the ground. Let's look for grass and see what we can see. And it's from Shutterstock. Yeah, all right. You know, I'm thinking that I just want to, let's look for free. What do we want to look for? Ground PNGs. Not quite what I'm looking for. I don't know what any of these are, whether they're good or bad or any of it. They don't need to be that great. You know what? I think, damn it, I'm gonna find these resources. PNG filters. Let's look for green. Let's look for background. So I'm fine with any of these. License, free license. I don't really have a strong feeling. Green. No, I don't have any strong feelings about this. Like, they could just be these. But this is one from Shutterstock. Let's look for green. These are all sponsored. These are all from Shutterstock. Let's see what we can find. How do you even buy these? Let's look for a blue-green background as a PNG. Showing me a lot of Shutterstock stuff. We want free. Yeah, let's just pick one of these. We'll take you. Yeah, we'll take you. There we go. All right, so let's come over here. Let's do a new directory, and let's put you here. So I think the only question is I don't know how to do movement. when it moves, we'll play around with that. Let's say call you backgrounds. So let's go there, download. Here's our original. Add. And we're going to make a copy. Paste. And we're going to call you level1.png. All right. So now we need to handle our background. Right now we don't have a map. We don't. So let's come over here to our game. We have our background color. Let's create a background generator. So new file, background.js. And here what we're going to do is we're going to function, we'll preload the background. Preload background. And we're going to come back over here to our game. We're on our main branch, so that won't be too terrible. We'll call you BG for background. We'll actually call you background. And we're going to say return load image, and it's // /backgrounds / level1.png. Also for this, we're just going to load. What are we loading? We need to load the initial player. We don't need to show the map. We don't need to show the construction materials, and we don't need to load the monsters. We do want to load the player. We're going to change out our guns at one particular point in our bomb. We're not showing the map. We're not doing any of that. That does mean, though, that we'll hold off on changing the map. So there's our draw. I'm going to move draw and setup right down here, so I can always find them easily. And I'm going to move setup down here as well. So I'll always have you evenly. So it will be setup and then draw. Setup, draw, and then our preload here. So this will preload our graphics in here. And yeah. So here's our draw statement. Right now we're just trying to get our background to display the way we want to. So we're displaying all of those. We have our background color. Let's preload our background, which we have here. Let's see if this actually works. So we'll come back over to our game. We'll say BG. We'll say background is equal to function preload background. I need to make you an export function. Export function. And that means I need to import preload background from background.js. So let's go ahead and let's get this running and see if we can get our background to run. And then from there, we don't need our canvas to be nearly as wide. Let's see if that breaks things. And it does, because I'm a terrible programmer. So background is not defined on line 170. 170. Oh, I can't call my variable background because there's already a background. I need to call you something else. Let's call you game background instead. That's a little bit more unique. A little bit more unique, and then we don't have to worry about it interfering with background. So we would say game background equals that. And let's refresh. All right, cool. So we have our game background. And now we need to create our code to draw the background. So export our function draw level. And we should probably, instead of calling you preload background, preload levels. Because we have a level 1, so let's swap out you. So you're going to be preload levels and draw level. And at this point, when we would use the code to get the background width, so forth and so on, which is going to be massive in this particular instance, but you're going to pass in the level background. And we're going to swap out you with some variables. Are we? No. Nope, this isn't right. What needs to happen is the background width and height. We need to layer them so it creates an infinite effect. Where's the X and Y coming from? Where's our X and Y coming from? Oh yeah, there they are. For let X there. Yeah. So what this will do is this will draw our basic pieces. And every time it moves, it will layer them. So let's see how this would work with a player. So image level background X plus. How would this work with a player? So instead of, so over on the right I have my player movement, and what it actually does is it moves the player position. Now I have a dash as well, but it should move the background. So what I'm going to need to do is I need to layer in this background. So I can't put this here. Nope. This code needs to go in. So we preload our background. And then depending upon the level, I'll worry about the logic in a bit for that. I just want to get it kind of working first. So when we draw the player inside handle movement, no, not handle player dash, yeah, here. So when we need to pass in our display, we need to pass in the, did I not do the movement? Oh, let's create an initial player display. Required background.js does not provide preload background. Oh yeah, I broke it. Look at me being terrible. So so there's that, but you can't see that it's moving because, well, you can't. But what we need to do is then in our display, in our draw, we're not showing the map right now. In our setup, we're fine. Here, when we do a player display, we need to pass in the game background, whatever it is. This will be interesting as the background changes. We're going to take the game state here and we'll say this is going to be the background, and into our player movement is what we're going to worry about. So we'll pass that into this, and when the player is hit, let's see, attach hit point bar, it always is just going to stay where the player is. So that's fine. There's no rotation on it. It's fine. What we need to do is figure out how the background moves when the player does. So we pass into player movement the background, and we then say we'll loop through the background. This is kind of a weird place to do this, though. But I do need to know what's going on with it. Because, again, as the player moves, so we need to loop through, and we almost have to put this logic inside the background. So we don't actually care about the sprite's movement, we care about the background position. So this dot, we'll call you background X, is going to be, and we can change the canvas size now that I am thinking I needed to make a massive size canvas, and I don't. Let's go and find where we do our canvas. We're going to take you down. We're not going to make you full screen. And we're going to put the X at 1024 divided by 2. So we're going to put the background X at 512, and this dot background Y is going to be, since we're 768 divided by 2, 384. So that's where we're going to start the player at, is that specific position, which is going to be in the center. And then where's our handle player movement? Yeah. So we're then going to loop through. We're going to take the background width, and there we go. Background height. And we're going to move the images X and Y plus the new position. I wonder if we can move this. Let me think about this. I think I can move this into a separate function where it redraws, and then it just moves. I just pass it the players, the new X and the Y that we move it. Well, let's get it working first, and then I can figure out how I want to move it around. So when the person is moving, what we want to change is this dot background dot X and this dot background dot Y. Nope, this. Yeah, that's right. And I guess we could do this at the end. So let's give that a try. Let the player move and let's see if it's fast enough to keep up. So what we're going to say is here, instead of the Y position, it's going to be this. So all the Y's get changed. And I'm putting it in the wrong place. Look at me being terrible. This dot background y, this dot background x. So we're basically moving the background. It's a weird, like, I get it, but I didn't realize that's what I was going to do. I thought the player moved and you kind of, but yeah, no, that makes sense. So you constantly replicate the background around the player rather than, so the player stays in the center. And you move the background. Where's my dash? Okay, so that's fine. So I've implemented a dash. Let's see if this works. It could fail horribly. Refresh. And it failed horribly. Player width. So let's take a look at this. Something failed here. So we return the loaded image unless it can't find it. Let's take a look over. Nope. Let's take a look over here. Cannot find property of undefined. I think it couldn't find my background. I think it needs to be, let's go up one level and then backgrounds and then level 1.png, and let's see if that works. No. Let's put a breakpoint in here and see what is going on. Let's put a debugger here and refresh, and we are not doing a preload. We are not doing a preload because I didn't tell it to. Window.preload. I keep forgetting that I have to do all of this down here sometimes because I'm bad at this. So it looks like it works. Let's change the URL back. It should be /background. So let's stop, refresh, and go. Nope. Nope. Didn't find it. Let's try again. This will be interesting. Just kind of playing around with this. Nope. Nope. Failure on my part. So is it just /backgrounds? I've put things into a folder. One, let's stop debugging because it's not helping. Like I see that it's failing to load. It also could be a massive image too. Stop, reload. How big is this image? Open an Explorer. It's not that big. Hold on. I mean, it's big, but it's not that big. Okay, so you can't find it that way. Let's just keep playing around and trying to figure out where it thinks that things are. So it can't find localhost background. Ooh. I need to put you in the public folder rather than. There we go. So now the keys are wrong, but it now looks like the character. It looks like the character's moving, but they're not. They're staying in the exact same position, and wait, what's going on? Is it not moving? It is moving. It's moving real slow. Yep, no, it's moving. It's just moving real slow. And it's not It's not doing the redraw. So, just the background position, BGX. So let's flip you around. So you would be plus equal, you would be minus equal. Let's refresh that and see how that works. Yeah, left, right, left, up. Up needs to be switched as well. So now that gives the correct idea of what we're doing. And then when we dash, it should be a plus and a minus. So this part is working. We have a moving background. And it looks like someone added in some additional logic here to adjust the background position to create a looping effect. So let's put that in here to see what happens. This dot, and then background width, background width. Cool. Let's see how that works. Refresh. Oh, let's refresh again. That felt really sluggy. Okay. So we're going. This is taking forever. Way longer than I expected. But I think, yeah, it's just not, it's not generating, but it's still creating the infinite background. I just need to, I can see where the issue is. The issue is that when it's getting close to the end, we should probably say when. So let me think through this logic. So when the character gets to 50%, 40%, let's do 30%. 30% of the end of the width, we need to change, we need to swap that out. Also, I want to use a different image. We need to change the image. So let the X equal the background. We take one X and plus equal background dot width, and then we put it X plus Y plus I don't quite think that's right. Uh, it gets. Let me look around and see what I can find. So we calculate the starting endpoints. And then let's do that. Let's see if this approach works. So I'm totally using ChatGPT for this. So let's do this. This dot bgx will change you to background, 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 and this, this, which should be math.floor. Oh, what's going on? Oh, let's see. Got a message this hour. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. Work message. No. Oh, it is a message at this hour. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. We were working on math.floor, start x, start y, this dot bgy, this dot dot. We calculate that. And let's see if this works. So instead of starting at this, we start at start x, and we go less than end x, and we still go background width, and then we start at start y and less than end y, and y still equals that, and we still move we still let still according to x and y. So let's see how that looks, or whether it breaks everything. Okay. It doesn't look like we're moving. That's one of the things I think I'll need to work on, is it doesn't look like we're moving at all. Let's take a look at this code again. Y equals start x. This dot bgx slash divided by the background width times the background width. It doesn't look like we're moving at all. That's a little disturbing. I need to pick a different background then, because I can't tell that we're moving. Let me steal a background from here. Inspect. Inspect. I can't inspect this item. Let me find another background, because this is no good. I can't see what's going on here. Or my code is wrong, which is more than likely that my code is wrong. We load our background image. Background is there. Loaded it in. this dot background x divided by width. Let's actually do this. Dot log x console dot log y. Um, yeah, I got to come up with another image. Where can we find a decent image for this? I'd pick this one, but I don't think that's going to be the better choice. Let's take a look at some others. These are, I mean, they're all right. They're just, these are all free. What? This is blue-green background? Let's go back. Background. Okay, so that's a bit better. What color is my shape right now? I don't have it running, or do I? I do have it running. Here it is. Let's close you. Be here. Well, there is an issue. X is not defined. Um, yeah, if let's do start X and index to see what they are. Let's refresh. 0 and 5. So it is moving. It just doesn't look like we're moving because we don't have any diversity. So let's make something real quick as a PNG. How can I make a quick PNG? Let's use paint. Yeah, let's just use paint. Let's make our green square. Let's put you here. Let's fill it with stuff. Let's make a slightly darker green square. And let's fill it with stuff. I'm terrible at this type of stuff. But selection. Okay. There we go. And then let's fill you in for right now. Where's my paint tools? That. Use you. What is going on here? Brushes, brush. No. This is the brush I want to use. Man. I want a super wide brush. 8 pixels. Cool. All right. I really should just use a massive fill. Rounded. No, that's fine. I'm terrible at this. I don't know even why I'm doing it. And then let's fill you in. Go back to you. Fill you in too. So at least we have 2 colors. Let's do one more green. Or variation of green. Let's do something a little lighter. Let's make another square. And then we can use you as that looks the same. And let's make you really dark. Again, this is just a random image that I'm making to help me fill in. Because again, looks like we're moving just fine. And then, sure. And let's use the fill of the same color. Uh, yeah. Yeah, let's just keep doing this. Lighter. That. That. And sure, we'll call it a PNG. PNG picture will save you into the code folder for right now. Um, the help folder. So I just generated a random image so that I could see what it looks like. Um, and I think the approach would be so now if we come back over to here, that's wrong. I just replaced you. I know I did. Yeah, level 1.png. Um, node daemon, node daemon, node mon, and then let's refresh. That is so wrong. Um, level 1.png now looks like you. That's what you look like. We can close you. Yeah, don't save. Like, we're done. There it is. Now you're not moving. See, no movement whatsoever. All right. So let's see what I think it works better if I do this. So let's try this over here on the code side. And let's refresh you. Ah, but it breaks things. Doesn't it? Yeah, it does. I don't see anything on the console side. Let's take away our console logs and see what happens. Plus this.bg, no wonder. This.bgy, let's see what that looks like. Okay, so it does generate it. Okay, so that's not terrible. It does seem to generate the areas down below, but it doesn't, that corner was incorrect. And it keeps flashing? So let's see. Yeah, I see. I see. I see what's the problem. So it's generating it on the right, but it's not generating it for behind. So let's see. I think I can take a sprite, P5 play sprite from image. I think we can use a sprite with an image. Um, and we can instead sprite with an image. Now, maybe there's another approach. Last time I had started to kind of look at P5 play. What did I look at? P5 play libraries. So let's see if there's something that helps with this. No, for glitching images in binary files. Well, let's take a look at this. For glitching images in binary files. Oh, we want to glitch them. No, no. I don't want to glitch mine. Not interested. Nope. Nope. Particle. That looks neat. Box 2 to use the Planck implementations for actively tracks. Oh, you can do a fountain effect. Not quite what I'm looking for, but it's really cool. Drawing pattern drawing library. Oh, maybe I want to use that. Pattern drawing library. Pattern usage. Let's take a look. No, no, no. Easy projection mapping of sketches in the real world surfaces. No. No. Discrete accent function from processing P5. No. Maybe. Maybe this is what I'm looking for. Add scene management capabilities. I don't know. Some of these seem neat, but I'm not convinced that presentation platform to add more shapes. 2D speech tiles map. Hey, wait, there. Maybe this is what I need. Tiled map. Tiled maps to your sketch. No. I don't quite think this is what I'm looking for. Like I kind of am, but not quite. No tweening. WebAssembly core. Rust. No, no. Rotating knobs, tile to play. 2D. Oh, this looks neat. There's a whole little video for it. Yeah, yeah. This is, I think, somebody generating. You have the background, ground, ladders. Yeah, no. Um, Yeah, they move. Yeah, so what you actually want to do is you need the camera to move along with it, and again, it's fine. I think the approach that I'm going to take is as follows. I am instead going to put the player. So let me think through this logic. So create the first background. Create the image. Create the images around the background. So that means that we go to, instead of looking at as, and actually I don't know if we need to create that just yet. So let's just create the first background. And when the player, this way we don't have to create an image we only create images when needed. And that way we can go back and forth. When the background X is greater than 30%, I'm sorry, is less than 30% of the width. This is going to the edge, to the left. Is less than 30% of the width. Generate a new image at the X. Yeah, I guess at the X position. Yeah. At the where do we even generate this? So we create a grid. So this should be less memory intensive potentially. Maybe. Well, we can't delete the sprites. Let's see if you can delete images in V5 Play. Let me actually poke ChatGPT about this. How can I, using V5 Play, can we create a sprite? Add a background. So here's the prompt that I'm going to use. And we'll see what it gets us. So using P5 Play, can we create a background that moves? Can we create a sprite on a background that moves the background when the user presses the AWSD keys? And when the player, and when the sprite is 30%, or actually when the sprite is 20% away from the edge of the background, generate another background on the edges of the original background so it looks like the background is infinite. Let's see what it gives us. We can have the background image. We did this before, and I've used these same prompts, but it didn't quite work out just the way I wanted to. So it moves it. Check if the player is close to the edge. Draw the background in additional sections. Does this compensate for the player moving backwards? Okay. So it does account. And this, what, supposedly handles it more smoothly? Yeah, I don't think it does. Oh, I see. Top, left, bottom, right. Update background. Shift the background in the opposite direction of the player movement. Oh, now this seems a bit nicer than what I had done before. So let's take a look at how this is done. So I like this one a bit better. So this still has the player position. So let's scroll back all of this stuff. Let's just roll it all back. Roll it all back. Roll that beautiful bean footage. So there's that. We move that, and then when we update the background, we take the player's position. So this is, I think, a slightly better implementation. Let's see. Let's grab it. Thanks to whoever made it, but let's create our export function here. So we'll export function background image. Now I've been exporting these rather than creating classes because I don't quite know what I would. I don't quite know if I would make this into a class. And do we need the background? Draw the background function. Update background. Export function. Draw background. So there's that. And it would then call update background. So the draw background is going to take the image, and they used an image rather than a draw sprite. So it's going to take our background, which we'll just, we'll call it, we'll call it the BG. And then we have an X and a Y. And then we need to pass in BG X, BG Y. Because we never changed that. Equals 0. And why are we, let's just, so we should probably be, so this is the draw background. This is going to be, so we update and then we draw the background. So, and update background. Pass in the player and the background. Guess we could make a class, but I want you in the preload, so I don't know if that would work. Let's get it working first, and we'll come back to this. Well, we need the background. And we start off with the background being X and Y. So we need the initial background. So we need the player, we need the background, and we need the background X and background Y. Okay. BGX and BGY. And then we loop the background. So we update, then we draw. And we need to pass in the background and BGX, BGY, BGY. Yeah. Now part of me thinks I should move this into the main game, but I'm trying not to clutter it up too much. I just don't want this massive long running game. So we need to make sure that they are updated back in the main, but by passing them in, since JavaScript does that, it should update them. Yeah. So let's come back over here to game. Let's create them over here. This is getting kind of long. Let BGY. Let BGX. We'll call you BGX first. People like the X and the Y first. And we'll call you game background over here. That way all the background stuff's on one line. I don't know why it suddenly occurred to me that that should be where it is. The player stuff should all be on one line, probably. Let game and bomb. So then the player stuff should all be on one line, and game stuff should all be on one line. And I actually know where we're going to start this at. And when we go to start the game, we do BGX minus. So we draw all of this in the draw function. So we don't have the level pop-up put in place. The show map can go away. And then in background.js, we would update the background. So in game, when we do our draw function, we would say update background. We'll pass in the player.player object. We will pass in the game background, and then BGX and BGY. And let's just say that they should start. They can start at 0. I don't feel that strongly about it. But we should probably pass in the right one. Let's come back up here to the top, and let's actually give them some values. Yeah, I guess we can't do that daisy chain. All right. Let's see what happens now. Let's see what happens and break some things. One, we're still console logging somewhere. Where are we console logging? We are. What are you doing over here? I don't have that code in place anymore. Terminal. Let's stop you. See what's going on here. I got too many windows. That's what's going on. All right. Let's open you up. Okay. Don't see any errors. But you're not moving either. Let's sigh. Okay. So setup, and we update background with the player object. Player this dot player dot position x. Okay. 512 by 384. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I guess you're fine. That where we started you at? 512. No. Yeah, that debugger's a terrible position. It's if player.position.x is greater than width. Wait. What width? Oh. Width. Width? Kind of a width here. Oh. I think it's just going by the width of the screen. Yeah, let's do canvas. Canvas width. Canvas width. Canvas height. Canvas height. Okay. Let's refresh. Nope, I done broke some stuff. Oh yeah. I done broke some stuff because I keep forgetting that when I import, I need to do that. So let's see what happens now. No, you're still not behaving the way you need to. And you crash. Speed is not defined. Fiddlesticks. I don't have a speed. I don't have a speed. I need to pass in the current player's speed. Current speed. So if I need to do that, let's do this dot current speed. Yeah. Let's do current speed. And then come down here and say this dot current speed. And this dot current speed. This dot current speed. This dot current speed. Let's see if we reference current speed anywhere else in here. Nope, we're good. So then we pass in the full player, and we're going to get the player dot current speed. We'll use that. And that means we're going to need to get player dot player object dot position. Player dot object player dot object. Okay. Player object dot position. Isn't that what we do all the time? Pretty sure we do. Player object dot position dot y. So then we come back over to game, and what we pass in is player, and then this should work potentially. We will see. Oh, there we go. No, you do not work. Let's take a look at y. Let's console.log player.playerObject.position.x and y. Fresh. It is updating it. So it is moving the X and the Y. It's just not moving this background. So you aren't drawing the background. So that means that you might be bad. Back player, let's double check. Game background is right. BGX, BGY. Let's see what you guys are. So let's refresh. You're staying in position. Is it you? Let's see if that's what's causing it. No, you're not moving. So what's going on here? We have the BG. Control Shift Z, there it is. So background X plus equals the player's current speed. So let's see what you are. Console.log player.current speed. And again, this is, yep, I believe it's because we're constantly passing it in and it's not getting updated on that layer. I wonder, I think we can pass by reference, but I wonder. I wonder. I wonder. Because it still only sees it at position We still only see it at position X and Y. So the problem is that it's because we're passing in zeros, at least as far as I believe we are. So it's never and it should be. It actually shouldn't be subtracting all the time. That's actually an issue. Um, um, hmm, I wonder if what we should do is pass in the players X and Y rather than this. So let's try that. No, I don't think that'll work. I don't think that'll work. So it keeps running and it's just subtracting that. But I only wanted to do it while the player is there. I think I have to think of this another way. I am struggling to think of how I can come up with a solution for this right now. So let's how do I want to start this? So the background is going to be at X and Y. Let's not call update just yet. Let's see if this can we change this so the background only moves when the player is holding down one of the AWSD keys. And maybe that's what I'm trying to compensate for. We create the sprite. So we create a speed. And then we set the BGX equal to the player's X. Um, let's not compensate for the infinite scrolling when the player reaches 20%. When the player is 20% close to the edge of the background. So it's pieces. I see. All right. We've seen this before. And let's take a look. So player position, we already have that. Height. the background, we set, so let's do this. And then BGX. Let's see. So there's that. And then draw the background on here. But what we're not doing is we're no longer. Okay, so that's right. Still not right. Still not quite right. Correct the background position when it moves out of bounds. We know what the player's X. We are getting that. That's being handled already. So if the player's position dot X, let's see if we have that. Console.log. Maybe it's not hitting any of our if statements, and that's why. Let's refresh that and see. Nope, we have it. We totally have it. It's less than the canvas width. But the player isn't like they're. It's like the player isn't moving though, but we see it. Something is off, and I know that it is. I'm just trying to think of what. So the player's position is moving. Are we just constantly redrawing the map? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Let's draw it once, though. Yeah. Yeah, let's draw it once. I see. It keeps drawing the image at 0, 0. But I know the player's position is changing. I'm unsure. I gotta think through this. How do... Is it because normally we just draw the image once? Let me try that. So we've preloaded. Let's go back to our game. So we've preloaded and it's setup. Let's do image at game background position 0, 0. Nope. So is that not right? I might have to go and look for some documentation on this. Did I change any of my player logic? This duck current speed, this duck current speed. Let's try something. I had a map before. Let's see. So I am moving. It's just the background is moving with me. So it's definitely not. It's the background that's causing the issue. Okay. So if we take away that and refresh. Oh, I see. So let's do this. So the background, now that I think I understand it, what we constantly need to do is take the player's position and so let's see if no, nope, nope. We need to. So we had a better implementation before. Had a better implementation before where the players background X was equal to, we moved it according to, so let's do this. Let's do this. We'll start off here and say that the background X is equal to the background X minus the player position X and then player position Y, and then we'll set you to BGX. Let's see how that looks and behaves. Yep, there we go. That's what we want. And then the background Y is BGY. The BGY minus BGY. There we go. So that works. And then, so now I have to fix the others so that you draw images at the others. And then let's see if we just do that. Let's see what happens. Let's start here. X, BGY. Background, update background. There we go. There we go. Okay, so let's see what happens when we draw the others. I've noticed that ChatGPT gives me weird code sometimes. Let's do the others. Okay. Nice. Okay. So we keep, hopefully it keeps generating more map. It doesn't. That's the issue. So it generates the others, but it doesn't compensate for that, and that's what I need to have it do. So when so it creates those, but then when it reruns again, it should be taking the current background around the player and redrawing around when they hit the edge. So yeah, I got to think about this for a bit. I didn't make much progress tonight. It's kind of sad, but I learned a bunch of neat things. Thus is the troubles. I probably could have picked something else easier to do. The endless map's kind of tough. The spawns appearing on screen, and then after a time spawn different, more difficult monsters. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to leave it there for this evening. It's a little frustrating, but it's all right. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'll leave it there for the evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Sorry it's been such a slow-moving evening. I didn't make the progress that I want. I mean, I have maps and it looks like it's generating them around, and so I still have things working. And it does generate it beyond the player's purview, so that's still there. But I have quite a bit of work to do on the quote-unquote endless map. So I'll probably spend some time over the weekend figuring it out, then come back on Monday and kind of have a better perspective on it. And I might be able to knock out I'll have the spawns appearing on the screen as well. I'll have them appear all along the edges here. Well, I might not actually. No, I'm okay with them spawning somewhere else. It's fine. They can spawn just outside of the player's perspective. So I think that's perfectly fine. All right, I'm gonna end the stream here for this tonight. Sorry it was not as progressive as as I had hoped. And that's it for this evening. CptWoozle signing off. It's 10 p.m. on January 26th, 2024. Thank you very much for tuning in for this very frustrating ordeal while I try to struggle with infinite maps. Thank you very much. You have a good evening. Take care and be safe and have a good weekend.